everybody doing tonight? Is everybody good?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys for sticking out this late. So I do have one really interesting past job. I used to be a prison guard at a maximum security facility, and I had to quit because it gets really depressing working that job, and not so much for the reasons that you expect. Like, yeah, it's depressing when the holidays roll around or like birthdays or whatever, but for me, the most depressing thing was one day this guy cut off an area very important to him, and he threw it at me. True story. And he said, "Hey, Derrick, that's for you." And it dawned on me that no one will ever care that much about me again as long as I live. I quit the job and I moved to Pickens County, which is basically like, if you've never been to Pickens County, it's like if they took Alabama and distilled it. Like they were like, we don't want you, NASA, we just want to keep the racism and the inbreeding, and we want to like mash it into one little county, right? So I don't know if you guys have been there, but they actually have their own airport. There's a Pickens County airport, and if you've never been, what it is there's a house in the middle of a field just with one guy in the front yard tied to 30 turkeys jumping up and down yelling, "Get on up, get on up." I'm from Alabama originally, and one thing that I used to be forced to do a lot when I was growing up in Alabama is my family used to make me go to church often, and we used to do these things called lock-ins. Have you guys ever been to a church lock-in? Don't clap, it's horrible. What they do is they take teenagers and they lock them in a church overnight and force them to listen to really crappy Nickelback cover bands sing about Jesus. And what they did at my particular church was they decided to make us play this hide and go seek game where half the crowd, or half the people that were there, were going to pretend that they were Christians after the rapture and they were supposed to go hide. And the other half were supposed to be the government after the rapture, and they're supposed to find them, right, in the dark, teenagers. Now, the whole point of this game was to teach you what life was going to be like for Christians after the rapture. And what I can tell you about Christians after the rapture is that they will make out a ton. There will be at least 4 pregnancies after the rapture. I was getting dressed the other day, and believe it, and I had a really weird experience. Firstly, while I was taking my shirt off to put another one on, I brushed up under here, which is weird that there's even an under. You know, it's the other weird thing is I felt a lump, and it turns out it's a Cheeto. And I don't know what was more depressing, the thought that I might have breast cancer or the fact that it had been 5 days since I'd had Cheetos. That's a thing. So when I was at work the other day, I heard a guy say, like, they were having a discussion about television, and one guy said, "You know, I used to watch wrestling till I realized it was fake." Which, out of all the reasons to not watch professional wrestling, that is the only dumb one. Because the guy retorted with, "Well, what shows do you watch?" And he said, "The Walking Dead." Like that's the not fake. You know, wrestling's fake, Walking Dead real, right? Walking Dead is the only show worse than pro wrestling. The Walking Dead, they basically told, like, you guys pretend to be at a family reunion, just be sad and mad all the time, and you guys pretend to be West Virginians. Like, that was The Walking Dead. I realized recently that I'm an alcoholic, and I realized that when I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning with a hangover from that afternoon. It was also covered in Doritos film and sour cream crust. And I realized that, like, at that time, at 2 in the morning, there's only one type of wine that you can buy. Like, there's only one thing of alcohol that you can buy, and it's at CVS. All CVS carries is this brand called Barefoot wine. And for those of you that don't know, Barefoot wine is the only wine named after characteristics of its customers. The best cheese to pair with Barefoot is Kraft Singles. I'm Derrick Whaley. Thank you.